Hey, good morning. This is Skyler with Regan Capital. Today we're going to talk about interest rates and where to invest on the curve. Should we stick in T-bills? Should we put our money in total return? Or should we go out the curve because the Fed's going to drop interest rates? So I'm starting off here with this Bloomberg screen. It's called WBIX, stands for World Bond Indices. And we're just going to highlight the ag. US ag, current yield's about 4.4. Duration's about 6.2. So if you're investing in a core fund, maybe a core plus fund, or in an aggregate or a total return fund, you're investing in something that is based off of this index, which is currently only yielding about 4.4. It's not yielding 5 handle anymore. And well, that's okay because the Fed's going to drop interest rates, right? Fed's going to drop interest rates starting here in September. You have a very inverted curve on the front end here. Current rates are about 5.4. Rates drop to about 3.6 if you go out to the 5-year here. And I like to look at the SOFR curve, which much better encapsulates exactly what the market is predicting in terms of interest rates. We start at 5.26, which is today. And by the end of the year, we're at 458. It's about 3 Fed cuts here priced in. And over the next 12 months, we have a full 8 Fed cuts priced in. Interest rates are going to go to 5.23. Okay. So you should go out and buy bonds, right? Because the Fed's going to drop interest rates. Well, what type of bonds? There's a lot of different choices. Okay. And I want to point out, first of all, real quick, I'm going to go to the dot plot and we're going to look at exactly what the Fed is telling us they're going to do. Okay. So you have a couple of options. You can go out and you could go buy T-bills still at 5.25. That's a 1-month bill here. It expires on October 1st. You could go out and you could buy 1-year bonds at 438, 2-year bonds at 387. You could lock in those yields. Okay. And for whatever reason, DOTS isn't pulling up. Here we go. And the Fed is telling us that their short-term rates are only going to be at 5.14 at the end of this year, whereas the market is telling us, nope, not happening. It's going to be at about 4.4. It's a difference of about 1%. Okay. So if we look at the end of next year, what's the Fed telling us? They're telling us rates are going to be at 4.125. Okay. So if we go back to this chart here, nope, we're actually going to be at 322. So there's a mismatch here of about a point from what the Fed has told us in the dot plot versus what the market is implying. Okay. And so what I did here, I found this chart. It's called forward curves monitor. Okay. And you could look at each tenor where it is today and where forwards are on these instruments. And if you don't believe that these are actually going to happen, well, guess what? You could bet against it. You could go out and you could say, okay, the 2-year is currently at 388. In 5 years from now, the 2-year is actually supposed to be higher than what it is today. That's what the market is forecasting. So if you don't believe that, you can bet against it. You can go short that if you want. Okay. But what I want to do here is I want to just bring in this spreadsheet that we put together. This is just pure math because for my own knowledge and investing, I wanted to figure out what the best place on the curve to actually invest in. Should I be in short-term rates still? Should I be in the belly of the curve? Okay, I call them bills, short duration, belly, and long duration. These are all kind of broad strategies you might find in certain ETFs or on Morningstar. Okay, there's short duration funds, there's total return funds, and there's long duration funds. Okay, so real quickly, what I'm doing here is I'm taking current rates. Okay, we're pulling these down. You could see them update by the second. Okay, and then I'm going to this curve, this forward curve, and I'm pulling the 1-year rate. So if we look at 6-month, you could see here the current coupon's 485. And in 1 year, it's supposed to be 346. Okay. So I'm just going to focus on the spreadsheet now. Then I pull duration. So each of these nodes has a certain duration. And your duration, you could see here for a 10-year is actually 8.2. For a 30-year, it's about 17 years. Then I pull in carry. Okay, over the next 1 year, what is my average carry? All I'm doing is I'm basically taking the average of these two. Okay, what my current yield is and what my future forecasted yields are. So I get carry across each of these, and then my market value change. So some of these drop year to year. You could see today you have a very inverted curve between the bills and the belly. Whereas in a year from now, that's predicted to be slightly steep, okay, by about 15 basis points. So that will help the front end of the curve. Okay. All I'm doing here is I'm taking that market value, that difference in yield. Okay. Right here, you're looking at about 140 basis point difference in yield, and you multiply it times 0.47, and voila, you actually gain the bond you own gains in value. Okay. Whereas back here, since yields are predicted to go up, you actually lose value. Okay. You take this change, it's only 5 basis points, but 5 basis points times 17 is roughly 99 basis points. So to get total return, to get how you'll look or what your statement will be at the end of the next 12 months, you just add these two up. It's very simple. Okay. So what performs the best? Staying short, staying in bills. And there are other alternatives where you can own short duration floating rate paper that floats off the 1 month SOFR node, okay, and earn an extra 100 to 150 basis points staying in floaters. So the money that's sitting in T-bills or money market accounts or in floating rate strategies, that's not dumb money. These guys are very smart to be investing in what looks like the best total return. Okay. So let's quickly, well, what if the Fed drops 2 percentage points, or this is only 1 year, Skyler? Let's go at 5 years. So I brought that in here. So this is that 5-year future yield. And I took my carry and I just multiplied it times 5. Okay. Because your market value change is going to be the same. You're still looking at node to node, and your duration is roughly the same. Okay. So all I'm doing here is I'm taking an annualized number. So I take this plus this is my total carry plus my total market value change, and I divide it by 5. Okay. Very simply, what wins again? Bills win again. Okay. So you see here, you can stay short, stay at the front end of the curve, do the opposite of what many folks out there that own long duration fixed rate instruments are talking about by staying short. Thanks for your time.